We're going to talk a little bit more about apples today. You did a great job cutting out the first apple we did. And I know cutting can be a lot of work, but I was really impressed with your things that you did. So today, we're not going to use scissors, okay? You're going to need this little packet from your activity kit. Now, when I make a project like this, for right now, I'd like you to just watch. Watch me do the whole project. Then, when I'm finished, get yours out and get ready to start. So if you have this, put it down. You don't need it right now. Thanks. Here we go. I'm going to take the paper clip off, put it in a good place, because I'd like to use that again sometime. Now, I have a little piece of brown, a little piece of green. Those two I'm putting aside. Right here is my apple. And, let's see. Oops. Sorry guys. I am going to put my apple right there on the whiteboard. Okay? Because that's the only place I have that will clip. Now, this is my paper. We're not going to cut it. Your job is going to be to tear it into little pieces. Now, to show you, I think I'll get out my whiteboard again. I'm not going to write on it, but just so I can show you where I'm putting everything, okay? So, watch. When you rip, you use your pointer finger and your thumb on both hands. See how I'm holding this? And I'm just going to rip slowly. Oh, two papers. Now I got to pick the one I want to use. I'm going to start with the smaller one. And I'm going to rip and put my paper down. Rip, put it down. Rip. These are getting bigger. You know what? I'm going to rip it a little more. Now they're all going to look different, aren't they? Rip. And I'm making a nice little pile. My job is going to be to rip up the whole paper. Sometimes when I'm angry, I feel like ripping things. I'm not angry right now. This is fun. And they're all going to look different. Let me show you. So I've got this little pile of ripped paper. Not quite finished. So here we go. I'm going to keep going. It takes a few minutes. Sorry, my hands were too low. I'm ripping and dropping. Ripping and ripping and ripping. So, I'm not going to rip my whole paper yet. I just ripped that. I still have all of this. Maybe I'll need it, maybe I won't. I'll go back. Now, in my toolkit that says Ms. Rudd, the only thing I'm taking out today is a glue stick. We learned about glue sticks yesterday, or the day before. Took off the cover. I don't need to turn it because, as you can see, there's plenty of glue. Now, on my apple, I'm going to, you can see, sorry, I'm going to put some glue on the apple. Then I'm going to pick my papers, stick them on. Now, some children will like to do more glue so that there are no white spaces. Some children like to leave little white spaces between them so they kind of look like a puzzle. The thing you want to do, though, is make sure you put the glue. So I put glue, and then I start adding my ripped paper. Just like that. Oops, I need a little more glue. I can see it's not sticky. Now you will be covering your whole paper. I'm going to stop the video for a minute and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I finished mine. Before I show it to you, I want you to remember this. When you're done with your glue, listen for the click. That's how I know it's ready. Okay, well, I went a little bit ahead. And, dear me, here is my finished apple. I decided that I kind of liked it when there wasn't any white spaces. So I kept going and I filled all this side in. But you know what? I ran out of paper a little bit. So I've decided that I'm going to wait till there's another project and I have a little extra red paper, and maybe I'll fill that in myself. Now, I took the green for the leaf and tore that into little pieces. See how it's torn? And I took the brown for the stem and tore that into little pieces. I have this left. I am going to make myself a scrap box, and I suggest you do that too. A place to keep extra pieces of paper in case you want to use them sometime. Now, if you're doing this at like a center, or you're not home, you could always use that little paper clip I gave you and clip it to the back so that when you get home you can find a good place to keep your extra scraps of paper, because you may be needing them later the year. All right? That's my apple. I'm kind of proud of it. It took me a long time. I shut off the video so that I would have time to work on it, and then turned it back on. So I want you to take your time too. I really like that. I like the ripping. That makes my muscles in my fingers grow, and putting the glue on and making sure it's all really stuck. And I was a little disappointed that this part didn't work out the way I had planned. But you know what? I'm going to keep it. I like it. And I could have put some green paper in there because apples are green before they turn red. If you want to do that, you can. You could leave yours all open like that so it's spread out everywhere. Or like me, you can just keep it and wait. And when you get a little extra piece of red paper someday, you can fill that in. I love to keep all my art projects, and I'm going to keep them this year. Maybe when I get a piece of red paper, I'll remind you that that's what we were doing. Okay? Hey, you feel like doing our little poem? We can do that before we say goodbye. Ready? Way up in the apple tree, 3 little apples smiled at me. I shook that tree as hard as I could. Down came the apples. They were good. Way up in the apple tree, 2 little apples smiled at me. I shook that tree as hard as I could. Down came the apples. They were good. Way up in the apple tree, 1 little apple smiled at me. I shook that tree as hard as I could. Down came the apples. They were good. I love apple picking time. I haven't been able to pick any yet, but that little poem makes me happy. And boys and girls, I hope you have fun with your apple today. If you get a chance, send me a picture, or at least let your mom and dad send me an email telling me you finished your project. All right? Have a great day, and I'll see you later at story time. Bye.